Have you ever had that incredibly painful experience of facing rejection from a specific person? You know, an SP, or maybe you're dealing with just some stubborn physical evidence in your life that absolutely refuses to budge, literally no matter how hard you try to change it. Well, today we're going to break down a radically different approach to reality. It's based on the teachings of Neville Goddard, and we're going to see exactly how to overcome what he calls the 3D illusion.
Seriously, ask yourself this. Why is it that when you push harder against an unwanted reality, like desperately trying to convince someone to like you or frantically fighting to change a circumstance, it almost always backfires? According to the text we're analyzing today, your current efforts to fight or manipulate the physical world are actually the very things locking that unwanted reality into place. It's wild. It feels like you're doing something productive, right? But you're essentially just running on a hamster wheel of resistance.
Now, what's really interesting about this next point is the absolute core secret of this entire philosophy. It all comes down to this quote from Neville Goddard: "The world is the mirror that magnifies all that I am conscious of being." This mirror metaphor, it is the root cause of your entire physical experience. The texts argue that you don't actually experience the world as it objectively is. No, you experience the world as you are. Whatever you're deeply conscious of being on the inside, well, that's exactly what gets magnified and projected onto the screen of your outer world.
So let's get right into the mechanics of this 3D mirror illusion. To really understand this illusion, we have to completely reframe how we look at the physical space around us. The text makes a brilliant point here. It says the world, even in its smallest detail, is just your exteriorized consciousness. The physical reality we obsess over, cry over, stress out about, it's actually just a delayed reflection. It's an echo. Think about it like this. Trying to change the outside world by force, or getting into intense arguments with another person, is exactly like looking in your bathroom mirror, hating your bedhead, and then taking a literal hammer to the glass to try and fix your hair. It's completely fruitless. You can't change your environment by destroying things on the outside, just like you can't fix your reflection by breaking the mirror. The environment only ever reflects what you hold in your consciousness.
Which brings us to a huge realization. We need to stop fighting unwanted reality.
I mean, if the world is a mirror, then fighting it is literal madness. And this brilliantly illustrates a crucial difference between fighting unwanted behavior, like a specific person's rejection, and actually transforming it at its root. See, fighting evil, or fighting an unwanted reality, means you're giving it your attention, you're struggling with it, and by doing that, you're making it incredibly real to your own consciousness. On the flip side, renouncing evil means withdrawing your attention entirely. It's about adopting an attitude of total indifference. The text explained that resisting someone's rejection actually feeds it energy, It keeps the reflection alive. Renouncing it, simply refusing to give it your mental focus, takes that power completely back.
So let's break down exactly why our natural human instinct to just argue with reality always fails. First off, fighting reality locks your focus right onto the unwanted problem, which sustains that sensory illusion. The texts refer to this as being trapped as the natural man, basically someone who only believes what their physical senses dictate. Plus, getting into pointless mental arguments, like, imagining a fight in your head with the person who's rejecting you, that's actually a surefire way to guarantee a fight happens in reality. It entirely fails to address the inner root cause, which is, of course, your own state of consciousness.
Okay, so the next logical step is actually withdrawing our attention from the negative.
So the crucial point is, if fighting the mirror doesn't work, the mystical solution is to just turn your back to the mirror entirely. And the text outlined 3 exact steps for how to actually do this. Step 1, close the doors of the physical senses. Literally stop looking at the text messages, stop analyzing the rejection, just cut it off. Step 2, sink into the formless I am consciousness. Forget your name, forget your problems, forget your current identity for a second, and just feel the pure sensation of existing. Then, step 3, from that deep, formless state, you actually feel the naturalness of your fulfilled desire. This is how you completely detach from the pain of the 3D reality and start programming a brand new reflection.
To really drive this home, the texts redefine an old biblical concept. Egypt, in this specific context, isn't a geographical location at all. It represents the dark illusion of the physical senses. It's that false belief that external circumstances are the cause of your reality. So escaping the king's wrath, as the text interprets it, actually means leaving behind the tyranny of what your physical senses are showing you right now. You literally have to intellectually and emotionally leave Egypt if you want to change your reality.
And once we leave that behind, we move into ascending to a higher consciousness.
Because it's not just about escaping the negative 3D reality, right? It's about actively ascending to the new, desired reality that you actually want to experience.
The source text explicitly states this wild idea: you are the master magician conjuring your reality. There is no one to change but self. True creation happens entirely internally by claiming a higher concept of yourself. This is the exact moment where you, the individual, and the infinite merge into a creative union. Your consciousness is the magician calling into being the things that are not currently seen, as though they already were.
So how do we actually get there? By stripping everything back to just I am. When you drop all thoughts of the specific problem, when you stop being you with a broken heart or a rejected ego, you're left in this pure, formless, and totally limitless state of simply being. The text advises to silently, yet with really deep conviction, just feel I am. Don't attach any conditions to it yet. You just inhabit that profound stillness, that limitless space where literally all things are divinely possible.
But here's the kicker. Once you're in that state, you must feel it to be true. The texts emphasize a massive difference between just knowing a thing intellectually and actually feeling it in your bones. Like, just knowing about manifestation or understanding the mirror principle, that isn't enough to actually change the mirror's reflection. You must assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You have to emotionally live in that state, feeling the sheer naturalness of possessing what you desire right now in your imagination until it transcends logic and reason completely.
And that brings us to the concept of standing still in faith.
This is the final, triumphant stage of the process, the moment where the unseen actually prepares to become seen. This is where you hold your ground. The text uses the term standing still, or in the original Romanian text, astat neclintit. This is absolutely a crucial mystical term. Listen, it does not mean a state of physical paralysis or just sitting around doing nothing all day. It means maintaining a deep, unwavering psychological conviction that the work is finished and all is well. It means maintaining total, complete indifference to the old 3D reality, regardless of what your physical eyes and ears are trying to report back to you. You are psychologically anchored.
Let's move to and see how this builds, because the instruction here is to stand firm in your inner feeling, confident that it is so, and to literally see the salvation of the Lord. In this framework, the Lord is your own I am consciousness. By standing perfectly still in your psychological conviction, you literally force the invisible reality you've created in your imagination to finally become visible in the 3D world. You just watch the physical world reorganize itself to match your new inner state. It's incredible.
To summarize this totally new, empowered stance, let's look at the master's approach to reality. First, adopt total indifference to any external rejection. Next, completely refuse to engage in mental arguments or apply any physical force to your current situation. Claim your desire internally as a divine gift that is already yours. Know beyond a shadow of a doubt that the unseen reality is absolute. And finally, just watch. Watch as the physical world rearranges itself to reflect your brand new consciousness.
Bringing this whole explainer full circle, we return to that powerful mirror metaphor. Leave the mirror and change your face. Leave the world alone and change your conceptions of yourself. That is the core lesson here, guys. Stop trying to break the glass of the 3D world. Stop fighting the reflection. The only place true change can ever happen is within your own conception of who you are. Change the source, and the reflection has absolutely no choice but to follow.
And that leaves us with one final, incredibly important question to consider today. If the physical world is truly just a delayed reflection of your inner state, what will you choose to be conscious of being right now? The power is entirely in your mind.